Hey guys, how you doing? So today we're going to work on the beginning band first warm-up, and we're going to start with the scale. On this particular scale we go up 9 notes. So if you'll notice on the ninth measure we're actually going up to a high D first finger. Okay, and we got to push a lot of air on that, just like you did on the first 5 notes that you worked on before. It's going to be the same thing, but of course the higher you go, make sure you keep your corners firm and make sure you're pushing a lot of air. That D on a trumpet is just naturally flat, so we gotta make sure that we push a lot of air. Okay, you can hear my metronome, I hope, going at 90 beats per minute, so we want to set our metronomes at 90. Let me play it for you. Okay, 1, 2, ready. Now that's always good to just practice going up a couple of times, okay? So you can get your air going. Remember how to finger the notes. Now we already did C, D, and remember, on the D we gotta pull out that slide, okay? So we got C, D, E, F, G, and then A, B natural, C, and then high D, okay? So D is first finger. We got to push a lot of air on that note. Now, one of the suggestions that I want to make to you guys also, and I'm sure your band directors have talked to you about this, is if you can get the bandmate tuner on your phone, that really helps a lot. Because you're playing the D first finger. If you're not pushing enough air, you'll end up playing a B flat. And of course, that's not the note that we want. Okay, so you got to push a lot of air. And if you ever use the bandmate tuner, you notice that it'll show you what note you're playing, besides telling you whether you're sharp or flat, you know, the little arrow that you want to get right in the middle, but it'll also tell you you're playing the correct note on that line. Okay, so you can try that. I'm gonna play it for you one more time. 1, 2, ready. Now, one of the things that you need to also focus on as you're playing a scale like this is don't breathe after every note. We know that high C and D are going to be a little bit tough to play, but don't stop, because then that kind of messes up also the goal of developing your air. Okay, so we don't want to stop. Even though we're playing, we got to push through those high notes so that you just keep working on your air. Push, push, push. The more you practice it, the easier it'll get. So at this time, I'm gonna allow you, this is not a do it 2 or 3 times. You guys, if you need to do it 10, 20 times, it's okay. All right, so when you come back, we'll do the entire scale. Okay, so go ahead and push pause and work on it as many times as you need to. Okay, we'll be right here. Okay guys, well, welcome back. I hope it gets a little bit easier for you. So now I'm gonna play the scale going up and down. Okay, the same notes: C, D, E, F, G, A, B natural, second finger, C, and then D, first finger. And if you notice on the second line, you're gonna have to repeat that D. So for you guys, if you're breathing after every 2 notes, that's a good thing. Okay, try and shoot for breathing only after every second note that you play. So here's the entire scale. 1, 2, ready. And if you'll notice, every time I play the low D, that third slide has to come out, right? Every time you play the low D, that third slide has to come out. And then on the high D, the first finger, you gotta push a lot of air, okay? Make sure you support it a lot. Keep your embouchure firm. The corners, don't tighten up in the middle, right? Just keep your embouchure firm and keep pushing that air. If you're having trouble playing the note, just push air through it, okay? It'll come. You know, the more and more you practice, the stronger you'll get, and before you know it, that D is gonna be as easy as playing the low C. Okay, but it has to be through practice and pushing a lot of air. So right now, you're gonna push pause again. Work on the scale a couple of times. I know hopefully you're not getting too tired. Okay, but try and do the whole scale a couple of times. Remember, the metronome needs to be set at 90, and then we'll come back and do the arpeggio a little bit. Okay, thanks. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, well, welcome back, and now we're gonna try the arpeggio. It's written on your page as the arpeggio, and if you'll notice that all it is the same notes of the scale, but now it's broken, right? We skip a few notes in between, okay? And the arpeggio sounds like this. 1, 2, ready? Now, the trick on the arpeggio, you gotta know what note you're jumping up to, right? If you're fumbling and guessing, well, of course, that doesn't do us any good, okay? So like anything else, just go through the notes before you play them, okay? C, you jump to E, and then the next two are easy because it's G, and then you jump to C, it stays open. You repeat the C, come back down to G, still open, E, and then C. So for us trumpet players, the pattern is easy. This is where your bandmate tuner will come really handy, because if you're playing the notes and we're playing so many of them open, we gotta make sure we get the correct sound from the note that's written on the page, okay? So just because you're not fingering anything doesn't mean that the note's gonna come out, right? The correct note. So we gotta make sure we're listening, and then we gotta make, if you have that bandmate tuner, that'll help you guys out a lot, okay? So here's your arpeggio one more time. 1, 2, ready? Okay guys, good practicing. And then of course, if you still have the chops, okay, see if you can go through the entire scale and the arpeggio without stopping. That would be your biggest test to see if your chops can handle that, okay? The next time I see you guys, we're gonna work on the articulations. Those are the quarter notes that are next, okay? So we'll see you guys then.